Hey Juan, hope everything's good. Hey Milo. Hey Jelly. Well, kinda. It's noodling around the clock. Oh, hey Mike. All good here. Hope you're good as well. Have we gone back into practicing? Right, before the main question starts, the English second challenge is best to practice as 8-note triplets or 16-note but slow, obviously. Oh, you mean the... I would do 16-note triplets, but do it like... Well, actually, you can do 8th notes as well. You can go... Another thing, actually, when we're talking about it, you can do it in 16th notes. So you go... Hey, Julian. Get back to it, man. Mike. With or without my help, that is. I don't, you know, I just... You made so much progress when we worked together, so... So anyway, back to this one. Just do it in 16th notes because actually one thing that's really helpful is to use... Can you guys hear the metronome here? So basically what I did now is quintuplets in the background. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Really tricky because what happens is that the accent or the downbeat will shift through the pattern. So it's gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it basically takes you 6 rounds before you get back to the downbeat again on the actual starting note. And that takes much more focus and precision, because when you do something that lines up with, like, you know, whether it's triplets or 16-note triplets, you can go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2. You know, it's common that there's some unevenness if you're not really careful. So doing this, any subdivision that doesn't fit the pattern itself is great, because then you get this sort of moving accents effect. So that's great. Let's see. I wasn't able to do an 8-night beam, but I could really increase the could get some bright stuff. Yeah, do that, Milo. Yeah, no, insane product, but it's not like I lost it and I just feel like I make it. Yeah, great. Well, obviously I would be silly not to recommend. Actually, my metronome has changed names now because Subdivide, someone else had a patent to that name. They didn't have anything on the actual app store when we put it up, but since we didn't copyright the name, they basically said, hey, change names or we'll sue you. So we're like, yes, we will change names. But I think it's better though, even though the name now is kind of, you know, Subdivide, I think that's a good name, but also I think a lot of people don't know what that means. So now it's just called JB Timing Trainer. So it's really in your face. It's like, this is what it is. And JB put that in not for some narcissistic power trip on my part, but more that if there's another timing trainer in existence, chances are it won't be called JB, so we will have a differentiator there, so we don't have to change the name again. So this metronome is what I use myself, which would be kind of silly otherwise, but it's a great one. And no, it's only available for iOS currently, but we're working on a web version, so it can be used by anyone. Yeah, but this metronome though, you can use any subdivision. So now it's 5, now it's 6, 7, 8, 9, all the way up to 21. Because basically this metronome is based on what I learned from Mike Mangini and in his way of practicing, where you practice different subdivisions like this. It's really helpful. And I think everyone should be comfortable with 1 through 8. Meaning, and obviously if you put the subdivision here on 1, it will just sound like a regular metronome. But there's more. You also have a drone here. So I can put a drone on and practice with that, and you can obviously raise and lower the volume for everything here. And then in the advanced mode, you can work on going between different subdivisions, which is really helpful. So if I just show it here, do this, and then we're gonna do this. So now I'm programming it, and you can program, I don't even know how many beats you can do, but a lot. But now it's just 2 beats here going between 16th notes for 2 beats, and then 16th note triplets for 2 beats. So if we do that here, so you get a count in. So that stuff is really helpful and fun to practice. So that's my big sales pitch. That thing you mean? Let's see. Oh, you mean the Petrucci method in the archetype Petrucci thing? I mean, before I have my own metronome with timers and everything, I used to use Google's metronome. And to find that, you just go to Google and then you basically put in metronome. in Google. And then you get a metronome under the search bar. And why I use that one is because it's so easy to use, but also it's I like the sound of it, because I need to have a sound that I like, because I can't believe some people when they have this like really like beep beep beep, that would drive me insane. Won't do it. So I didn't know you have a metronome. I abandoned Spotify's options for one here on YouTube. I favored all clock like ticking. Yeah, well, check out the link and see if it's something for you. Well, I think that the hard part with that run is that it's very fast, but also because you have let's see, also because you have so you might be fine with that part, but then from here you actually need to go up the whole scale, which is 4 strings, which, you know, kind of long, so it is tricky. So basically, find out where the trouble is, Mike. Is the trouble that part? Or is it this part here? Where you cross to the 3rd string, so to speak. I don't mean the 3rd string as in the G string, but in terms of like, if you're fine with doing 6s, but you have trouble going up, then that's something you can address by working on that. So because that's the thing, a lot of people can do, you know, 2 strings fine, but adding that 3rd string is trouble for a lot of people. So also, I'll need to change strings like a motherfucker. No sustain. And if it's any, you know, consolation, I've never seen Petrucci play that well live, so so maybe that's a thing as well. And I've looked. Oh my God. My strings are getting into that territory where you have, you hear that, you have like almost like this on a single note. Before the slides, you mean that? I don't remember what it does there, but it's some. Actually, I think something like that. Yes. But that's the I think that's the easiest way to get the sound. And again, I don't remember exactly where it is, but it's. I do believe, I'm not sure if he picks it. if he, what he does. So. Because that's sort of the sound that he's going for. So you could alternate, but it's gonna make it quite difficult. I mean, stuff like that stuff, yes, you can alternate pick it, but if you do economy picking there, that's just much easier. And for me, it's more about the sounds. If you can get the sound right, if you get the sound, yeah, but it might be because I fucked it up, Jelly. So don't blame me for that. I just think it's certain phrases will just sound better with certain techniques. But saying that, if you try to play this thing and you go like, you know, do legato, it won't sound the same. So that's why I think the easiest way to play this, unless you're Marshall Harrison or something, is gonna be with alternate picking to get that sound. But he might be doing the sweeps because I know he does at the end of Take the Time. He does some sweeps in that one. That's exactly that kind of idea. So that, and you know, that's the same era. So I mean that's why he did all the chromatic stuff as well. So. I think you should do speed bursts for that, and really try to get a light attack. Because if you try to go like, it won't be right. So. That's one of my favorites, where he plays at the end of Take the Time. And I even saw the great Martin Miller play this wrong and explain it wrong. He was like, yeah, it's weird, you know, I heard Petrucci do this. But then when he did this, it sounded like a bit sloppy. It's like, yeah, but that's because he's adding another note. He does that chromatic thing, so. Awesome, man. Glad to have you, Kingdom. Did you do it right now? In that case, I have to... Let's see. Oh, here we go. Mike. Tim. Awesome. Anyway, so... Yeah, I put you both in now. Even this thing, I thought it was this at first because of the tab book, but it's actually 32nd notes, and you can hear that because when it goes into however that goes, but that's 16-note triplets, and you can hear this goes like. You can hear that it slows down, so it's kind of a lot of tricky things he does, but he does that in Under a Glass Moon as well. I don't remember exactly the run, but it's I remember learning it and was like, what's this sorcery, right? Because it was like, it's chromatic kinda, but it's not, because it's, what is this about? But then it wasn't until I understood that it's kind of a Steve Morse thing, where you would add, if you have a major scale, for example. Actually, this, I think this is like that. So it's based like the it's called the Mixolydian shape. It's not really, but and then you add an extra note. You fill in the gaps basically. Slow with a metronome? No, never. Actually, the metronome won't help you here really, because in the thing it's like 11 notes over 2 beats, so it's kind of, to me, it's kind of like the Paul Gilbert said. He just plays something really fast, and then try to fit it in over the thing. And I think you should, what you can do is try to get. You need to find like the spots where it lines up with a beat, so you can aim for that beat. It's kind of what Yngwie does when he does the. He wouldn't necessarily go. Yngwie would never go like that, right? It would always be aiming for something, which sounds better to me. It sounds more musical. I mean, sometimes you need to lock it in because you're playing with a keyboard or whatever, but in actual improvisation and solos, I find it sounds better when it sort of breathes a bit more. But it takes more technical control to be able to do that, and rhythmic control as well. So you're thinking more in a bar than you're thinking, you know, one beat to the next necessarily. So that's also why I think it's good to practice without a metronome sometimes, not be so stuck with like do that the whole time. So you can only play this if you accent the top note, which I think is like, you know, that's why I think it's good to work on the thing that I showed earlier with the metronome, where you go 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 1. So you get more of a used to that type of thing. But I can play it slowly, but also I don't remember this whole thing. I just know that it goes, and then he might restart here and go down like that. So I don't remember this part. But you know, if you can get. Also, I'm not a big fan of this, you know, doubling up on the top note. I think that sounds kind of lame. But in this case, it's so fast, so you don't really hear it. But in general, I don't like this whole like we have two picks on one note. It just sounds a bit, you know, I want one note, one pick per note. Goddammit. But again, why I bring that up, like the chromatic stuff, is because if I would just hear this thing and doing the, I would be like, oh, is he really doing that? And you know, that's a bit weird. But when you see all, you know, a lot of different runs from the same album using this 4 notes per string type of thing, it's kind of interesting. So, well, that's different. Also, the riff has double picking, so that's a fun. If you go, that's fine. I don't mind that. And also, it's just my opinion. Who gives a shit? But that's a different thing, I think. I mean, in the Romania solo, something like that, right? Where that's also fine, because then it's part of the idea. But it's this thing where, like, at the that thing where he goes from the Metropolis run, where he goes, right? So I don't. That's just for him to line up his picking. And I'm not a big fan of that. But again, he's John Petrucci and I'm not, so I should shut up. John Bark, yeah. Yeah, I mean, should piss someone off, right, Jake? I got a comment on the Guthrie video. Someone said like, "Ugh, jeez, those slides are so damn annoying." I was like, okay. So funny to me when people like comment bad shit on YouTube videos in general. It's like, just move on with your life, Unless someone is saying something wildly racist or whatever. Why do you care? It wasn't to your liking. Well, boo-hoo. Fucking princesses everywhere. And you can imagine if you like, you get something for free, i.e. a video, and then you watch it and like, I don't like this because it slid off after each example. How are you in the rest of your life? Like, if you get a dish at a restaurant that you don't like, you're gonna throw a tantrum. But it's people gonna do what people do. Yeah, I think so. I mean, there's too much politics anyway, so just, But people get pissed about everything now, even at jeans commercials. So like, she said good jeans! How dare she? Yeah, I get, when I get stupid comments, like I just pin the comment and said, but in general, the best feature on YouTube is something called hide comment, because then I hide the comment, but the user who posted a comment, he can keep posting bullshit and no one will see it except him. So I just find it like, oh, he's screaming into the void. But equally, sometimes I'm like, oh, I should reply to this fucking asshole. But also I know that it's a stupid idea. And my wife says, nope, can't do that. I'm professional. But I mean, I get so few shitty comments that they really stick out when I do get them. But right, Mike, see you in the school forum, man. Yeah, I know, but for me it's just confusing that people would spend it. And I'm not talking about commenting on my videos, whatever, but when you see comments on, it can be a video about puppies and then like, oh, it's an ugly puppy, or why do you do that to the puppies? It's like, people have such... Yeah. I mean, some people seem to write everything they think, and they think like everyone needs to know. Oh my god, that gets stuck. So anyway, for hybrid picking, if this thing is too long right here, you get what I just got, where you get stuck in the string and it's really annoying. So welcome to John taking care of his nails. Right? It's so stupid. It's like, okay. It's like, yeah. I don't get it. People are... Must be a hard life being, you know, angry and offended by everything. Milo, do you have any type of carpet at home? If I've taken, and I'm not bullshitting you, this is a real thing, and I learned this way before the internet actually. Basically, you take any type of carpet. Some materials work better. How the fuck do I get this? Okay. Take the side of the pick, and then you go 1, 2, 3, 4. I usually do around 10 on each side. And then I check and I do it again. So certain carpets really does this quickly, but it's super helpful and way better than trying to get everything smooth like this. And you know, you don't get any dust, and yeah, it's awesome. So give it a try. I know it sounds like I'm, you know, winding you up now to see if you rub your pick on the carpet. It must be some friction that happens. I even had when I was playing live and stuff, I used to have a piece of carpet in my gig bag so I can like sharpen my picks in case there wasn't a carpet around and I needed it. You know, I can play with pretty much any pick as long as I get some sort of a sharp edge to it. Yeah, try it. It's a game changer for me. Otherwise, I would have to change picks all the time as well. I'm actually gonna do it right now and see if it works. Yeah, it's actually a little bit sharper. Look at that. Actually, I'm going to check what's going on with that trusty old ChatGPT. It's probably going to say, yes, excellent question. Thank you for asking that super duper question. It's so, it's like a sycophant fan when you ask questions. All right. What's happening when I'm rubbing my pick on a carpet? It seems to smoothen and sharpen the pick very effectively. What's going on? Let's see. Mm-hmm. Oh, yes, friction. Long answer, but I'm not gonna read all that. Wonder if ChatGPT gets pissed off if you answer TLDR for every reply. Actually, I have what's it called? Actually, I'm gonna read the question in case someone listens to these as a podcast. I'm like, you, you know, there's actual podcasts out there. But anyway, Kirk Hammond came up yesterday. I've since had a burning question. Have you found any of the first 4 albums, tab books, to be reasonably accurate? Black was so off that I didn't bother with the rest of the book. I only have Injustice for All and the Black album. I never looked into the Ride the Lightning or Master of Puppets. But yeah, Blacken was like, huh? So off. I think you're way better off slowing things down and you know, getting as much as you can and being, don't try to do too much at once. You're gonna learn so much more by doing that and getting it wrong. No, I think from what I remember, I only used them until I could figure things out by myself, and they seem to make everything look very difficult. I also heard that some of these transcribers didn't even play guitar. It could be a piano player with a keyboard player with a good ear, and they notate it, and then the tabs are like, what, so, and that's what I found with Yngwie's Rising Force, the book, with the burning guitar, not burning the fire with the guitar coming up. That's quite accurate in terms of the notation. And I think it was Wolf Marshall who did that, but all the fingerings are very off in terms of like Yngwie wouldn't play it that way, right? So all of Yngwie's, these kind of, those kind of runs would be, played in one position or like some weird variation on that. So, and a lot of the sweep stuff could be like spring skipping all of a sudden. So it's kind of weird. But saying that, Yngwie wasn't, you couldn't just watch a live video with Yngwie at that point. So kind of a nightmare assignment. But the notes were all right and the rhythm, I believe, most of it. Yeah, I agree with Milo, but just do as much as you can by ear. And even if you get it wrong, you're gonna gain much more from that than getting a completely correct tab book. Because using tabs or any notation will actually take the music, just looking at stuff. You kind of like, you're trying to, I don't know what a good thing to fuck is it called? Oh my god, my brain isn't braining today. I don't know what a good comparison here, but it's why it's so good to transcribe music by ear is that you listen in a completely different way. So you're way better off doing that. And even if you sit there for half an hour and you like, fucking hell, I can't even get this out. You're gonna get more out of that than just learning shit from tabs. And now we have everything available for us. So learn as much as you can by ear, and take a small section, learn. You try to get it down, and then you can try to find a live clip with that player on YouTube, and then see like, oh, actually, I thought it was here, but he was here. Okay, and then you can, unless you're listening to some super obscure stuff, you're probably gonna find a walkthrough of a few walkthroughs of differing accuracies, and also some tabs and whatever. But working on your ear is the best thing you can do. And what I do pretty much every day, and I might do a live stream on that if anyone is interested. I won't be able to play the music, so you won't hear that, but you can see me just sitting here with a guitar and coffee, and then basically what I do, I take a song, put it into what's it called? Sound Slice, which is a free thing actually. I just like to use sound slice because you can loop things and you can slow it down if you need to, and you can just use YouTube links. You don't have to have the music on your hard drive, which is very helpful. But basically, I take a song and then I listen to it, and then whenever I hear something that's cool, can be a melody, can be a chord, can be a rhythm, whatever, then I stop and I figure that out by ear. And I don't care, if it's let's say it's some fast thing, I don't really care about getting it up to speed. I just want to understand what was played. So let's say if I hear something like, and if I sit there and transcribe that and I can't play it, but I get it to the point. Then I'm happy with that, right? Because the idea here is to find new things. I love it. It's so relaxing and it's so good for your ears. And also, what you can combine this with is to go through a discography of someone. So I did this with, I've done it with Al Di Meola, and I've done it with Gary Moore, and I should do it with Robben Ford as well. And probably, Yngwie I've listened to so much, but any player that you like, go to Wikipedia or whatever, and then see like, okay, what's the order of everything this guy has done, or go. And then you start with the first thing. So in terms of Gary Moore, for example, his first solo album, basically I listened to every song one at a time and sat with my guitar. And for quite a few of the songs, I didn't stop at all, because if it's not anything that interests me, then I'm not going to stop. And it can be really cool things, but if I understand what he's doing, so if I hear something like, he does this a lot, right? That kind of thing, I wouldn't have to stop and figure that out, because I already know how to do it, right? But if it's something that I hear that I like the sound of and I don't understand, then I will try to figure it out. That makes sense. And it's very like low key. I have no like, I have to learn this whole song. It's just listening and finding cool ideas. And the bigger picture here is that listening through a whole discography is so cool, because you start seeing like things that they might be famous for, and basically small variations of those licks start showing up earlier in the discography, and then 3 albums later, all of a sudden it's like, here's the actual cool thing that you heard. So, and I also like the fact of like really listening to everything a player that I enjoy has done. So it's not that I'm gonna remember everything and whatever, but actually having done it, right? So I think there's something to say for that as well. And I had a student years ago who was like really into Robben Ford, and this guy was 17, so the folly of youth, but he was really into Robben Ford, and he was to the point where he's going to go to a Robben Ford guitar camp. And I asked him like, so what's your favorite Robben Ford album? And he's like, I don't know, I just listened to the top 20 on Spotify. I was like, what? That's like, no, you can't do that. You can't be a fan of something and then like, the top 20 on Spotify. That was insane to me. And especially when you start listening to albums, they're like, statements on their own. So when we talked about Petrucci earlier, when he did a lot of these 4-note per string things, there was a thing that he did a lot in the Images and Words album, but he didn't do it at all in the Awake album. Then he had different things he was working on. So by just jumping from song to song, from album to album, I think that's a bit, jarring for me. So I'd rather like really go through everything like this. And another thing that happens when you do that, at least for me, it can feel kind of random. If you sit there and like you take a song and then you listen to it and you pick up a few licks, I find that if I can start a journey and go through like a whole discography of someone, then it feels like it feels organized and makes more sense to me. And a lot of people might not give a shit about that, but for me it really helps, because then I'm fine with like, on this song I had to stop 5 times, but on the next song I didn't even stop once. Then I don't care about that, because then the point is also just sitting there with a guitar in my hand, coffee, and then listening. Because how often do we actually listen to music? without doing anything else. You know, music listening has been, before I started really doing this, things that I would do when, you know, emptying the dishwasher, walking the dogs, mowing the lawn, working out or whatever. But it wasn't like, it's always a background thing, not the main thing. So, and you know, I'm 46, so this might be a complete fucking, you know, Generation X thing, but yeah, exactly. I think it helps to understand the evolutionary journey. I fully agree. Yeah, but I think it gives you deeper roots, because one thing that I've been kind of jealous of is like, if I was just into blues, would be easier in a way, because then I have my thing and I know what to work on. Or if I was just into jazz, then it's also like, you need to do this, this, and this, and this. I'm into like this weird thread mix of everything. So there's no like, oh, you have to do this. But going back to people that I really enjoy the playing of, and then also like going through it in this deep way, has also led me to look into, you know, who did Gary Moore listen to, or who did Al Di Meola listen to, and things like that. And you can do the same thing there. So you can sort of build this big family tree of your favorite players. Or not. So alright, any questions? Otherwise, I'm gonna go do something else with my day. Thanks for the stream, John. I was nice to see. Yep. Thanks for hanging out, Milo. Thank you. Like 343? What do you mean, Josie? Oh, okay, so how do you pull up with the third? Pull off, you mean? You work on it. And also... well, no, if I do a pull-off, okay, so I try to keep only one finger down at a time, but if I do pull-offs, I can't do that, obviously, right? Because if I go 4 to 3, I need to have this finger down. So if I do a trill, I don't lift it, because it doesn't make sense to do that, and I have to push it down, but if I go, then I would do that. And what really helps, and this is something that I heard Guthrie Govan talk about as well, is that when you do the pull-off, try to feel, even though I'm not moving the third finger, and this goes for any pull-off, to any of the other fingers, even though I'm not moving the third finger, try to feel, almost feel that you push down a little bit, just to get a feel for that you're actually moving from this note to this note. Kind of hard to describe, but you kind of want to feel almost like something going between the notes. It's not just the pinky moving here, it's actually you know, if I call out the numbers, that's where I feel a little bit extra pressure. So 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, and of course 4, 2, 4, 1. So whatever you do, really. But and also we work on only doing hammer-ons, so going. But then I would have to lift it up. Cool. Yeah, exactly, that alternating feeling. Yeah, so with that, I'm gonna say bye-bye for today and see you.